Good morning. We're going to do pool homes in two counties. We're going to do Hernando and Pasco. Basically, if you're looking in Hillsboro or Pinellas, you're going to be looking at $100 a square foot or more per home. So in Pasco County right now, there's 645 pool homes. And in Hernando, there are 341 pool homes. Now, we're going to assume a lot of things in this video, and if you can handle criteria outside of this, let me know. For example, if you can handle a one-bathroom home, people don't want one-bathroom home, but there's 13 of them between these two counties, and these are going to be the cheap. In fact, just let's look at them. These are going to be the cheapest pool homes. Oh, look at this. We got condos. No condos. If you've watched my videos, you know I'm an advocate. If you say condo, I say townhouse. You say condo, I say villa. So there's 7 homes, single-family homes, 194, 210, 224, 240, if you can handle a one-bathroom home. And I'm going to assume that people who are watching this have kids, and they're going to want at least a 2-bathroom home. If you can handle a 2-bathroom home, you can obviously handle a 3-bathroom home. So there we go. There's 923 homes that will allow you to have at least 2 bathrooms. We're going to do the 2 bedrooms and see that there are 79. And I'm going to guess that most everybody wants a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. There are 403 properties. Let's say we can handle a 4-bedroom. There are 849. So I'm not going to look at the high-end properties. I mean, if you're a high-end buyer, you've got lots and lots of choices. Money's not an issue. But let's say you're not a high-end buyer. Let's say you're looking at a nicer home, let's say between $200,000 and $350,000. There's 117 properties to choose from. Just out of curiosity, let's look at the cheapest ones. 214, 225, 229, 230. Now, if you're buying in this price range, you probably are going to be looking at getting financing. And if you're getting financing, you're not going to want to be in a flood zone. So let's take the flood zones out. Now we're down to 95 houses. Let's look at those. Now the cheapest ones, 225, 229, 240, 247, are likely not going to be the nicest ones. The nicest ones are obviously going to be the ones that have a garage. We just knocked 13 of them out. Let's look at the cheapest here. 225, 229, 240, 247, 249. What jumps out at me is some of these are in a mandatory evacuation zone, but they're not in flood zones. And let's say that you really want something nicer. So let's go with a 2-car garage. Now we're down to 62. I wonder if there are any with a 3-car garage. There's one. This may be the best, most interesting deal, $324,000. For a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 3-car garage. Now, this does have a $50 annual maintenance fee. And let's go ahead and tie it down some more. Let's go with average maintenance fees of 0. And now we lose that 1. And let's get rid of the housing for older people. Housing for older people, no. And let's get back to... We know there are no 3-car garages in our criteria. So let's put a 2-car garage in here. We have 45 matches for a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-car garage between $200,000 and $350,000. I like this list. It's a little longish, but let's go ahead and take a look at these homes. In Brooksville, $240,000. Look, it said it had a 2-car garage, but it doesn't. It only has a 1-car garage. It lies. How can it lie? It says minimum 2 spaces. Oh my goodness. Realtor malpractice. And here we go. Lightfoot, $249,900. Best pool home opportunity out there. And it is. It is the best. Look at that. Vaulted ceilings. Original kitchen. Very bad flooring. Oh, pink. We've got a pink vanity. Okay, here, Freeport, $272,500. Lovely pool home. And one way to measure is to look at this. If you see my cursor, $222 a square foot. This is how we compare apples to apples. This one was $185 a square foot. Actually, this is it right here. Bank owned, $249,000. Best pool home opportunity out there. There's without question, this is the best deal. One thing that we should look at is to see if there's any uh, uh, settlement going on with this house. 4305 Lightwood. I'm going to use this as a teaching moment. So let's go to the Hernando property appraiser. And let's take a look at this property, 4905 Lightwood. Now, each county is going to be a little bit different in terms of their 4305, excuse me. 4305 is going to be different in their search for settlement properties. And if you haven't watched my videos on settlement properties, please consider watching that on YouTube, Randal Jenkins Realtor. Okay, so this one's taxed at $222,000. This is bank owned. This sold for $68,000 in 1994, and then it foreclosed by the bank in February. So in this county, we do it with the GIS map. We come over to the map, and we use a function called layers. And it's already, no, it's not lit up. Okay, let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit. This is our subject property. And we're going to come over here to layers, right here, layers. And we're going to click this button and this button. Okay, now we're going to click on the map and we're going to zoom out. And what we see is these blue ones are repaired settlement homes and the red ones are unrepaired. Now, even though they say sinkhole or settlement, these are not catastrophic ground collapses. Likely, these are regular settlement from building on sand. But back in the day, look at all these properties. Independent insurance agents walked up and down the streets, and they were able to get insurance payments for these homeowners. Some of them used the money, the blue ones, to get repairs, and the red ones, they just kept the money. And like I said, definitely watch my video. I have 3 videos on settlement homes and discussing the difference between a sinkhole and a settlement home. But we're doing pool homes right now. So let's run through some more of these. Lightfoot, I think, is probably the best deal. This could sell for $350,000 fixed up. So they priced it to sell. Freeport, this one is actually a settlement home, a repaired settlement home. Shadow Ridge, this is also a repair settlement home so this will be the cheapest property in Pasco County. This is actually a quite nice home, nice neighborhood. And this one is $295,000. Excuse me. 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 2-car garage. Got that extra bathroom. And obviously this is not vacant, but it is what it is. And this is $208 a square foot. Kenmore in Spring Hill, $299,900. We'll call that $300,000. Fox Ridge, 4 bedrooms, $300,000. Wow, when you see that, you got to kind of think it might have flooded. I don't think it. Well, it could have flooded from multiple offers, highest and best by May 6th. Oh, look, it's X and A. So this likely flooded. I would bet this flooded from Milton. Milton had huge freshwater flooding from the Green Swamp. Milton flooded. Yeah, here's the Green Swamp over here. So I find it hard to believe that it flooded all the way over there, but it sure does look like it. And I would look at the property disclosure to see. Baldock. This is $196 a square foot, 1,500 square feet. And I would say this is quite nice, $305,000. 1,700 square feet. Dahlberg in Spring Hill kind of looks small. Whoa. 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 Okay, this is on acreage. That's why it's so much. Let's see what it says. 3 acres. Well, this is definitely attractive to me. I love land. Let's go ahead and look at the parcel on the parcel map here. Dahlberg. Oh, it's got a house up in the front, but it looks like it's quite far back. And I would say that if you're looking for acreage, this is the best deal for a pool home. Well, this home sure does need some work. One thing to always look at is the days on market. See my cursor, 213 days on the market. Holiday Lake Estates, surprisingly, did not flood during Helene. This is an X500 zone, which is very good, but it is a mandatory evacuation zone. It is west of 19. The lakes, this is by Regency Park and Embassy Hills. These lots are slightly larger than the lots in Embassy and Regency, and these have higher ceilings. So the lakes is a really attractive alternative to Regency Park and Embassy Hills. This is $184 a square foot, but it's $310,000. 2006 built house, $314,000, quite nice. Embassy, $315,000, works out to $234 a square foot, 1,300 square feet. But it's got a 4th bedroom, and it sure looks like a 1-car garage. Hey, people, you can't market this as a 2-car garage. 2 spaces. Well, it's possible that it's got depth, but I still wouldn't call it that. $315,000 in Weeki Wachee, almost a half an acre. It's a frame looking house, and we did not do block and frame. This could be block. Wait, let's look at it here. Yeah, I think this is block. You can see it's block. The way to tell generally is the windows, and the window here, it's kind of hard to tell because it's got siding or some kind of facade. Fair lawn in Spring Hill, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, over a quarter of an acre. Wow, look at that pool. Look how wide that pool is. Okay, we've gone through 15 and we're up to $320,000. This is a 1984 house, $198 a square foot, $193, $200 a square foot, $182 a square foot. This is a 1,700 square foot house. When you see the lower price per square foot, it's going to mean that the property, this square footage is more. Well, isn't this cute? This is a frame house. The thing about frame houses are that, we have tornadoes now, so it's a block home is a little safer. This is over an acre, 1 acre, 1.05. And if you were looking for acreage and a pool home or acreage with any criteria, just reach out to me. I love acreage. I'll be happy to run through the acreage properties for you. I'll even make you your own video. Orchid Lake Estates, nice neighborhood, $335,000. Appraisal completed. Yeah, you can't trust a seller generated appraisal. I mean, certainly we can look at it and look at the comps that they used, and I'm sure they're going to justify the value. $235 a square foot, 1,400 square feet. But when you look at criteria, you'll see that there's a bell curve. The houses on the left side of the bell curve are cheaper, and the ones on the right side are more expensive. And you can comp it to the low end or to the high end. Obviously, a seller is going to want to comp it to the high end, and a buyer is going to want to comp it to the low end. So you get 10 appraisers and give them all different instructions. You're going to get 10 different appraisals. Interestingly, though, when you do a contract and they ask you what the contract is and it appraises at that exact amount, you got to wonder if the if the purchase price on the contract didn't influence the appraised amount. A lot of homes in Spring Hill, Hernando in this price range. All right, now whenever you're doing comps, I always have to look at the pendings and the solds. There are 33 properties that are currently contract pending in this criteria. This is like fantasy football. You look at what's happened. Now, the pendings aren't going to tell you what's happening, but we're going to be looking at this DOM, days on market, 15 days on market, 7 days on market, 2 days on market, Orchid Lake Village for $265,000, $140 a square foot. This is a tremendous deal. This is a nice neighborhood. $159 a square foot, but it took 260 days to sell. And you have to wonder, one way to look at it is that it may have just had a large price drop. We can go to the history and see that it was originally listed at, and let's go to the newer one. Okay, it was listed at 329, 324, 319, 314, 274. At 274 at 260 days, it says we're now in a multiple. Oh, look at this. See this? Sellers requesting highest and best by March 25th, and it is pending. So probably have a buyer that's doing financing, and they're having a little challenge. Well, it's only been 6 weeks, so that's not out of the norm. 10 days, 27 days, 43 days, 172 days, 14 days, 108 days. The reason I look at 2 days. So the best deals always go under contract quickly. $170 a square foot, solar heated saltwater pool. It's not really necessary for us to look at this, but ooh, that's not good. Is the land behind it higher than the pool? That might be just a, wow. Yeah, you don't want the land higher than your pool because it's going to drain into your pool. All right, now to do the true analysis, we have to look at the solds. So let's look at the solds. 180 days, we've had 123 properties. Let's go back 90 days. We have 73 properties. Let's go back 30 days to get the true measure of the market. 30 properties have sold in 30 days. And here's where we'll get to do the real numbers. This is fantasy football analysis. This is the stock market. This sold for $136 a square foot. That's a deal. They were asking $238. It sold for $239 in 5 days. 1,700 square feet. That was the best deal in the market. Let's look at the roof. It looks a little older. And we've got bad carpeting. Oh, we got a hole in the wall. It doesn't matter. This is a great deal. We have to go spend $25,000 on something like that. I'd use a renovation loan to buy it, and that way you can include your repairs in the purchase price. 47 days, $255,000. Brooksville, 46 days, sold for $202 a square foot. $278 a square foot. $152 a square foot. This is a 1,858 square foot house. Wow, that's very nice. Oh, I don't know about that that pond just because of mosquitoes, but there you go. Although if it's got frogs and other insect-eating animals, still it's pretty close to that pond. $170 a square foot in 29 days, $218 in 68 days. Look at this. It says what? It says 2-car garage. Montana in the city of Newport Richey. The city of Newport Richey has just exploded in value. It's just no pool home and no picture of the pool in the first. There it is. 19th picture to see how lovely this is. I'd make this the second picture. If you're selling your pool home, please watch my videos on pictures. Watch my video on bad words in real estate. I am an advocate that because of the way people shop, they do swipe right. Look, 1 day on the market, $290,000. They were asking $292,000. It sold for $176 a square foot. That's an amazing price. Autumnwood and Rainbow Oaks, $184 a square foot. Oh, I know this house. I know this house. I know this floor plan. And this is a great deal. $184 a square foot. This is like 2019 all over again. This one we're asking 300. They got 300. Dade City, 6 days on the market, sold for $150 a square foot. $220 a square foot in 7 days. Smaller house, 1,300 square feet, or 2,100 square feet, $147 a square foot, 327 days to sell for $10,000 less. Alex in Spring Hill. Does this have land? No, Alex's son has land. This is Alex in Hernando. 325 sold for 310, $223 a square foot. Berkeley Manor, nice neighborhood, sold for $185 a square foot. So there's lots and lots of transactions under $200 a square foot for pool homes. The Lakes, $235 a square foot, actually over the asking price. They were listed at $318. It sold for $322. Likely, the seller was the buyer asked for closing fees, and they raised the price to cover some of the buyer expenses. 334 sold for 325. 325 sold for 326 in 22 days. $189 a square foot. And as I said, the higher square footage properties will likely have a lower sales price per square foot. 4-bedroom, 2.5 bathrooms, 2-car garage. Oh, look at this old 3-tab roof. You don't see those much anymore with insurance. Insurance is not going to insure that roof. But it's a half an acre, $149 a square foot in 32 days. This is tremendous deal. Got the extra half bathroom, got the 2-car garage, 1989 home. All right, we're at 27th house, another 1-car garage looking garage. Highlands, really nice. This has probably got acreage, and it's 2.38 acres. Somebody got a deal. Somebody got a deal. Oh my goodness. And sheds. I like sheds. I don't know why. 365,000 sold for 342,000. Flood zone X, never been flooded. Paved road, long driveway. Yeah. Very nice home. Okay, so let's do advertisement. I'm Randy Jenkins. Let me invite you to, everybody wants to know, what's that in my background? I'm Cody River, SUP, the Pitla Chess Cody. If you go onto my Facebook, you can see my Cody River SUP. I'd love to go to my YouTube channel. Here's my YouTube channel, the one with me in the suit. Bad words in real estate. I have some webinars. If you're a first-time home buyer, please, here we go. Type in webinar. And there's 3 webinars, 1-hour webinars. If you have an interest in learning about settlement homes, here's 2 videos on settlement homes versus sinkhole homes. I do owner financing, lots of videos on houses. If you're a realtor, look at my list reports, waterfront analysis. Love analyzing the market. I spent 18 years in the financial services industry, and for me, doing the analysis and looking at valuations on real estate is not much different than doing valuations on stocks, and I did that for a while, and now I've got 25 years in real estate. Here's Florida Real Estate Partners. This is my real estate company. I'm Randy Jenkins. Let me get my contact information up here. Let's do something I sent out, and this is somebody responding. Okay, here's my contact information. Randal Jenkins Realtor, Florida Real Estate Partners. I'm at American Mortgage Services. If you need money for a loan, please reach out to me. And if you allow me to send you an email, here's a button for down payment assistance. Randy Jenkins, I appreciate the opportunity. Maybe I can get back into my, my camera went off. Let's go back here and wave goodbye. Bye. Oh yeah, that's a paddle for paddleboarding. Talk to you later. Ciao.